Hi, welcome to G7CR Spotlight, Season 2, Episode 10. I have with me the Dronacharya, the guru, the teacher of G7. So, welcome today, the one and only Sajid Faizan.
Thank you very much. I'll talk a little frankly on
Please,
this.
please, this show is about you big pride.
Approximately, I've given around 67 interviews.
Wow. What were the naughty things you used to do, Sajid? Do you remember anything very naughty that you did in school?
We used to go out of that school by breaking the window. It was made of iron rod.
Wow.
We slowly, and we just moved it.
So, nobody knows until now.
Yes. Me and only my friends.
According to Sajid, who's the hottest woman in G7. Another question they asked is, why are you angry all the time?
So I look angry, I look serious, but those who are my friends, they know
understand.
how funny I am internally. Suddenly there was 180 degrees responsibility change when my mother got an accident, and then my father stopped working.
But how has been your journey? Because see, from this 8,000, the struggles that you talk about.
I used to compromise on tea, I used to compromise on all those extra spends. Many a times I went to interviews just by having one tea. I have not promised to company, I promised to their walls. But you have not given me opportunity. I'll come indirectly with experience and you will welcome me too. My mom and dad used to say, never look at money. Just build your life, build your career. Money will come automatically.
I need to meet your parents. They think so much like, I also always believed in that. If you focus on the money, you will never get it. You need to focus on the job, the money will come. I have with me the Dronacharya, the guru, the teacher of G7. He's enabled so many people, created such great talent in people that we've actually picked up into the company, ensured successful deliveries of projects. Someone who, from the heart, I have immense respect for. So, welcome today, the one and only Sajid Faizan.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sajid, really good to basically have you on Spotlight today.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Everybody in G7 are looking forward to basically this chat. I got a whole list of questions from your team to ask you. So everybody wants to know Sajid better. They say Sajid is the fun guy, Sajid is the strict guy. He's a combination of both of them. Everybody want to know the secret of your success, the secret of what makes you tick, what makes you the Sajid who you are today, who's looked up to, respected in the organization. So welcome again.
Thank you.
And let's start by getting to know you. And a lot of you, which we want to get to know today, Sajid, is personal. Okay.
Yes.
And we want you to tell us a lot of secrets that you've not told anyone before. You going to try?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Okay. So let's start with family, Sajid. How big is the family? How many people?
My mom, dad, 2 elder sisters, and 1 younger brother.
Excellent. So 2 elder sisters, 1 younger brother. So totally 5 of you.
Total 6.
6. Achha. And what do brothers, sisters, and all do? They're all.
Yeah, both elder sisters are married,
Okay.
and I'm also. And then my younger brother still yet to be married.
He's studying or he's working now?
He's working.
He's working now. Excellent. Sajid, you're very bonded with family. I know you've spoken to me about mom, about dad, and I see a lot of passion and love which comes out there. Any memories from childhood that you can give us?
Yeah, sure. So actually, I was not able to understand my family value a lot from my heart until my mom made an accident in 2016. When before that I was just was a chilling guy who never taken any responsibility seriously until 10th first, and then after that slowly I started taking responsibilities, and suddenly there was 180 degrees responsibility change when my mother got an accident, met an accident, and then my father stopped working. So in that case, I had to take all the financial responsibilities as well as the moral responsibilities to my family. So that was huge change.
So how was it growing up, Sajid, with four of you? So how was it with brothers, sisters?
As far as I remember, we all used to fight. There was 2 groups. My younger brother and the second sister was in one group. and me and my eldest sister was in another group, and we used to fight a lot. And after that, once I started going to school, then after that, I started engaging with cricket a lot.
Okay.
And because of that cricket, I stopped concentrating on this study until 10th. Even before the day of the board exam, I used to play till evening. My dad used to scold me, "What are you going to write in the exam? You're supposed to get good marks there." And those days there was Bihar board. In that, if you get second division means beyond 50%.
Right.
It's good. I mean, in the future. But somehow I was able to get 52%. But even and those days I used to distribute the sweets to my family and nearest neighbors, saying that I passed. But after that, once I started searching for PU, I mean 10+2 college, then I was not getting any admission there. I was waiting for my list till October, and then finally from backdoor entry,
Okay. Wow. Okay.
we got one college in the science, and then I took study very seriously. Before that, I was not so serious.
So till 10th, it was basically cricket was the main
Cricket was
passion.
the passion, only passion, and I used to play cricket even in the temperature. I mean, even in the summer, hot summer, early morning till evening, and forget food, forget drink, everything, just play cricket.
What were you, batsman, bowler?
I was keeper and batsman.
Oh, okay. So you were the Dhoni in the making.
Yeah.
What was the parents were strict? Dad used to beat you, mom used to beat you. Who did you get beating from?
I only remember once my dad beat me when I was very small. When I went to one field and I took some sugarcane tree. I mean, took out that sugarcane tree from one of my neighbor who don't like our family.
Okay.
So finally, there was some complaint from their side to my father, and my mom was not in home.
Okay.
Those days, me and my eldest sister got too much beating.
Okay.
After that, I don't remember any other beating that happened from my family apart from teachers.
Teachers. Okay. So definitely, I'm sure you were getting a lot of beating from teachers because you were
Yes.
cricket all the time, no studies, so teachers would not like that.
Yes, yes.
Who was the worst teacher in school that you remember who you maximum punished you?
Yes, it's one maths and English teacher, Raghavendra,
Okay.
whose beating style was a little different. He used to call me very near and then slap suddenly. I mean, I don't know from where the hand will come, but left or right, whichever comes fast. I used to try to get back, but I used to get so much of beating.
Oh.
And when, slowly after sixth, when he went to some temple, and during that he made an accident. He lost his legs. Then after that, I started respecting. And nowadays also, all those teachers reminds me about my naughty things. I mean, not studying and now who you are. So they're blessed.
I don't know. Personally, I feel that, that strictness which my parents had for me, I used to get beating from mom. I used to get beating in school. Okay. Not often, but at least I remember a couple of times where I got beating, got punished in school. I think that is what has given us our value system.
Yes, correct.
I think today the kids are not scared of anybody. They're not scared of the parents. They're not scared of and they're too young to understand what is the future about. So I don't know. I'm of the opinion that our schooling was good. It had to be that way.
I too agree with that. If you get, you must be respected. Must be. If you are doing wrong, you should somehow get punishment in the childhood. Otherwise, those childhood days or the teenage age is like that. If nobody cares or nobody interfere with you, you will go into different mode, and then you will spoil.
At least as a kid, I think you need to be scared of somebody.
Yes.
Okay, if not parents, at least teachers. But little fear has to be there now and again. Love has to be there, fear also has to be there, is my thinking. But I think we are talking controversial things now. We are going to get a lot of people who are going to beat us up and comment about how wrong we are. Especially the modern day parents who believe nobody can touch their kids, including them. What were the naughty things you used to do, Sajid, apart from cricket? You remember anything very naughty that you did in school?
In school, naughty days, those cricket was the bad things. And once I went to 8th, in those days, I was in village, and we used to go to government school. So on the very first day, one of my friend, who was friends since class 3, He was son of a peon in that college,
Okay.
in that school, 10th, 8th. We both were walking by keeping our hands on each other. Then the principal saw us that we both are keeping the hands like that. And they call us, and then they broke the one. I mean, they beaten us
Wow.
by saying, in this campus you should not keep your
Physical
hands like
touch is
this.
not-
There
okay.
should be
Physical
respect,
distancing.
and more things are. I mean, they finally mean to say is this is a strict school, and you should not enjoy finally in either way. And after that, we stopped doing it. Apart from that, there was nothing else. And
This was not
we
even
used to
naughty. You
jump.
were not wrong, actually. I mean, anyway, the school
So
had
we
some
used-
value system. This was government or private school?
Government school.
Government school.
So, and then we used to go out of that school by breaking the window.
Okay.
We broke one window. There was, I mean, it was made of iron rod.
Roads. Wow.
We slowly, and we just moved it. And then finally we met the way. And then sometimes we used to go out of it in the lunchtime.
Okay.
And then we again used to come back by evening so
Before
that the attendance is
that attendance is
maintained.
there and nobody comes to know. Did you ever get caught?
No,
No.
not in school.
So nobody knows until now.
Yes. Me and only my friends.
Don't show this to your school. The school management, maybe they'll punish you now. I have to ask this to everybody because as you enter the high schools, teenagehood, it's usually pretty natural to basically have these puppy crushes on some girl or something. I mean, everybody wants to know this part of Sajid. So, was there a crush on somebody?
No, suddenly what happens is after 10th, when I was not getting any school, any college for my 10+2, and I was thinking to go to science only, no commerce, no arts, because those days only I made my mind to go to engineering line.
Right.
So when I was not getting all these things, when I was talking to my father and I was getting the response, based on that I decided no, right now I have to change my way, the way I am just living and studying. So I started concentrating fully on study. And those days, even after getting the college, in that college I only had one class in 2 years, only one session, because there was no, I mean, there was teacher, but there was no rules like there will be classes going on. And and my father used to give me money for having the coaching classes and all. Then we used to go just whole day bicycle ride and then go to this teacher, go to that teacher. And then finally, I was fully focusing on how I can make my career better from there. That's what I was thinking.
You grew up very quickly, that means. I mean, after 10th, if you had this kind of focus, that was amazing. That means you matured very much faster than other people. So the teenagehood was not there.
Yes, because my father used to say that you are the eldest son, and if you are not taking the responsibilities, the youngest son will not take the responsibility. And you know how our family is so far, and what are the trouble this family had seen. So you should be thinking about this. I'm not forcing you, but you must be thinking about this. Do you want the same life or you want to change?
Wow. Okay. No, very elegant, actually speaking. I mean, it's a good, mature conversation to have with someone who has to take responsibility. Who's your, I mean, favorite is always difficult, but mom and dad, who's basically more closer, as who you can talk to and tell your secrets to and all that stuff?
Emotional secrets with my mom.
Okay.
Emotionally, very serious. I mean, always I used to talk to her. Business-wise, all these work-wise and all, I used to talk to my father. So I can say mother's first and then father.
Wonderful. After college, what happened? I mean, you got good marks in college, was it?
Yeah, so I got around 61%.
Okay.
And those days my target was 60. So
60.
I was satisfied that yes, I'll get some
Excellent.
good engineering college.
Okay. This was also a government college, but
yes, this
was
was also
amazing. Okay, so you actually, I hate to say this on camera, but I don't think the government schools and colleges in India give you the best of education.
Correct.
But if you're still going to get 60, 61%, then that means you got it from purely your hard work and efforts. Was there a campus recruitment or anything which was there which happened?
So that was the 12th which I was talking about. Okay. So in 12th there was no system of, and still there is no system of any campus.
Okay.
It's only comes after you do engineering or you do MBA or any bachelor degree.
So engineering was there? Engineering was also a government college or that was private?
That was private college. That was from Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh.
Acha, so you were in AP for your engineering. Okay,
Yes.
okay. So you left home for engineering for the first time.
Yes.
Okay.
No, even in the after 10th only I left the home because that intermediate college, that's 10 plus 1, was around 22 kilometers far from my home.
Okay.
And my dad was saying you should not travel, it will spoil your time, you stay there.
Okay.
And then we used to be in a lodge, and then we used to study.
How was the feeling when you left home for the first time? Because did you feel that you were getting freedom? Did you feel basically scared? Did you feel what? Because I've never basically left home to stay anywhere else. I want to know the experience. I mean, what are you feeling? 10th standard, you have to leave home. Were you feeling, man, now no parents to shout at me, or were you basically more emotional that you will?
I think my dad knows that this will be, change. I mean, I will be. There will be some changes seen in me when they tell me that you have to leave home. So first thing they said is you travel, and there was only one option for that. There was train, and it was not these days train. It was the old train.
Okay.
And we used to travel by that train for 6 months, and then slowly he said, now this is good time to stay there,
Right.
and then come every week.
Right.
Come on Friday evening and go on Monday morning. And then after 3-4 months, he said, you stay there. You come once in a month only.
Okay.
So slowly he made me
Excellent.
into that situation. So during first six months when I was traveling via the train, I never used to take any tickets. So without ticket, I used to travel. And then there was no electric train, so
Right.
we used to go on roof.
Uh-huh.
I used to travel on roof.
On the roof of the train. Oh my God. Okay.
Sometimes sometimes where the two bogie will be
Right.
connected on that.
We'll sit down on that. Oh my God. You've been adventurous, huh?
Yes.
Oh.
Even the internally there is a seat, but we used to travel on.
Right. I mean, if you're traveling without ticket, you'll be scared to be inside the train.
No, two times we got caught.
Got caught.
And then finally we managed to escape different way.
And usually TTs and all in those days where you can cry and all that stuff, and they will still let you go.
Yes.
Today they don't. Today they become.
Those days we used to show that we are student. We don't have this. Don't talk like that with students. You should not touch the students. So there was, we were in the attacking mode than defensive from the TT, saying that you should not do that.
Hostel, or you were staying alone, or you had roommates? How?
Yeah, so those class third friend was my roommate. He was also thinking to do engineering, but unfortunately due to financial problems in his family, he dropped that. But till 10+2, he was my roommate. He was in the same college, and he was in different college, but nearby, same city.
Excellent. So at least you had one person who was known, a friend with you
Yes.
throughout that. Engineering in Vijayawada, how was that experience?
That was great experience because when we visited Vijayawada, it was, that private school. In the private school, there was no North Indians earlier before us. There was one or two only.
Okay.
And then when we went there, there was only environment of you can only talk in Telugu.
Wow.
English was little rare, and nobody knows Hindi. So when you go to buy some vegetables, you have to talk in either in Telugu or you need to talk in English. And my English was, zero.
Wow. Okay. Your medium of education was English, but throughout it was.
Yeah, intermediate was in English,
okay.
but
it was
those days. It was like all the classes are in English.
Right.
All the classes were in Hindi.
Right.
Only exam was in English.
Wow. Okay.
So the situation was like that. So
Right.
we never went into any English classes, but we used to manage to pass English subject. And English was made optional during those days.
Okay. How did you learn Telugu eventually? So you know Telugu
Yes.
now? Or?
So suddenly I started searching how can I learn Telugu quickly because I was not having any Telugu friends.
Right.
So one of my class member said that there is a book called Learn Telugu in 30 Days.
Okay.
So then I purchased that book. I started studying, and then finally I started managing around 60 to 70% Telugu those days.
Wow.
I was able to speak. I was able to understand.
So meeki Telugu vastundi.
Yes, Telugu. Yeah, I started.
Okay. Nice. Okay. I didn't know that till now that you know a South Indian language because you don't know Kannada, right? As yet little.
Little now, because here there is an option of English.
Right.
There was no option, and I
It
have to
was
talk in.
survival, correct.
Yes.
Amazing. Was there a campus there? Was there?
Yeah, there was campus, but when you are more powerful, then you will get the seat.
Oh,
So that
okay.
was the thing.
That
And
happens in colleges.
yes.
Wow.
Powerful means you have money or you
Connections
have
and money
connections.
and all that stuff. So ultimately, you get the. Wow. Okay. I thought companies were recruiting talents in basically the in this. I didn't know that was possible. Wow.
In fact-
Any experience? Sorry.
Yeah, in fact, I got selected in one campus exam and campus recruitment, but that was some maritime job.
Okay.
They offered us 18 lakhs of salary.
Okay.
It was too much for us, like 1.5 lakh per month.
Right.
And then finally they started asking 3.5 lakh you need to pay right now.
Wow.
And then that's impossible for me.
Right.
So we just left that.
Oh, very interesting. Oh no, this is learning for me, man. Okay. Any bad experiences during the engineering? Something that you remember?
Yes. So one other campus selection we got called. There was a company with initial word Go. It was a Delhi-based company. We got selected. They given us offer letter. That offer letter still I am keeping as a memory. But we waited for that company to hire us for 3 to 4 months after the college was completed. And they used to tell us, no vacancy is not there right now. You need to wait. You need to wait. You need to wait. And then finally, they conducted sudden exam.
Okay.
So let's say today they called and day after tomorrow there's an exam. If you qualify, then that offer letter is valid. Otherwise, it will be cancelled. Me and Naushad was in very stress. We both were selected in the same. Very stressed, and we used to design that calculator program and all those things in C#, .NET. We were thinking we are great in .NET. So we were just preparing. We prepared, and then finally we got selected there. But still, after that, we waited for 1 more month, and they said, no, vacancy is not there, and then you have to wait. Then I said to Naushad, this seems like never-ending process. We should look for something else then. So we started searching the job again in Delhi. It was in Delhi.
Okay.
And then we came back to Bangalore after that. In engineering, as a memory, yes, after that we found, after first year of engineering, we started staying with all the North Indians in an apartment. And then we used to have fun like card games.
Okay.
And going to college and bunking the college,
Right.
going from the back door out of the college, and those things.
I don't know if I should ask you this question because I know you for almost 9 years now? 8 years?
8 years.
8 years. Okay, so I know you're a teetotaler, but I'll still ask the question. Any time during those days, one sip of beer, one?
No.
Okay, so you've been totally off alcohol all your life.
Yes.
Amazing, stay that way. But maybe you should go to parties where people drink, sit down and judge them. Okay, have fun looking at them, what all crazy stuff they do once they get drunk.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with, even when I was in G7, if you remember the first batch which you hired, there was Raj Kumar and one more person who used to be my roommate. They used to bring beer.
Alcohol,
they used to,
but you ensured that you always refrain.
yes.
Very impressed, very impressive. So most of your fun activity in college was carom and cards and other stuff. Okay. So you're good at cards.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Any other board games you played? Because
No, not
it was
during
majorly
college.
cards. Okay, so that was the type of movies were you interested in?
Yes, Telugu movies.
Telugu.
So first Telugu movie we saw in English translation.
Okay.
And after that, we started going into direct Telugu movies because we know that language.
Don't tell me your favorite hero was Chiranjeevi.
No.
No, who was your favorite?
There was no favorite like that.
But
The
you like
person
the-
who
You like the masala in the movie,
Yes.
the action and all that stuff which used to happen in Telugu.
combinations.
You came to Bangalore. So how long after engineering was over were you looking for a job? 6 months, 3 months?
So soon after my engineering is over, actually, I started searching job from my third year of engineering. When we started going to engineering, then there was 2G scam in India, and then I was from electronics department, and I was predicting based on all the news that electronics market is going to go very down. So I started switching from electronics to computer science. Slowly, I don't had any choice to change my stream, but I started learning C. I started going to C class. and then Java, and then finally I moved into that zone. And right after my engineering, I went to my home. I stayed there for 15 days, and then I came back to Delhi, and I started searching the job. So job search wise, I mean, it was quick. There was no delay. Approximately, I have given around 67 interviews.
Wow.
And 2-3 placement, but rejected. One placement in BPO, I worked for one day. Second day, I called to Naushad, this is this is going to spoil our career. I'm not going. You wanna go? You go. Then I stopped going to that. Then I got one selection in electronics company who used to build all the network towers. They were saying that you're supposed to go to you should travel across city, and you should travel by your own. You should spend money on hotel or all the tickets, and the salary was 5,000. So I was thinking, this is now simply
Giving you
insane
money to
thing.
travel, and you'll have to put more money from your pocket after that.
Yeah, 5,000. You cannot travel. You cannot stay anywhere at all. Then I rejected that opportunity, and then finally, after a lot of retries, finally G7 called me. HR department called me. There is an opening, and those days I was on a temporary contract basis in a local institute here in Bangalore. I used to be a trainer. I just joined 7 days back. I was training on .NET. So and then once I got the job here, that manager, I told to that manager, I got my job which I was expecting. Do you allow me to go there? He said, yeah, this was a dream. You're supposed to go there. This is just a training institute. I will get another trainer, but it was a nice experience with you.
Amazing.
And then he gave me 3,500 rupees, folded money, cash in my hand during handshake. And then he said, this, you deserve it. And this is what I can give you. And he gave him from his own pocket. He has not, taken from the company or any accounts.
Man, that's a good person.
That was the first salary to me also.
Wow. Oh, very nice, very nice. No, this is nice to know there are good people around, because otherwise there are a lot of people who, in today's world, at least a lot of exploitation, right? If someone can get something done free, they want to do it. Okay, very nice, very nice. I mean, hats off to that individual. Okay, good you. How was the financial situation at home? Because I think 6-7 months, if you're looking for a job, was there a lot of pressure that you have to start making money, or it was manageable that time? It was okay.
No, there was pressure, but the pressure was getting built from my side than my family side. Because when I was kid, my dad used to have a medical shop. But due to certain problems, that shop was closed, and he started with new job, that's poultry farm. Small poultry farm. So in that, he used to earn around 10,000 during those days, and he used to never send me whole month pocket money in a single shot. He used to send me every week, 1,500, 2,000 like that. And I knew that how he is managing and how he is sending. So for this, he used to go to queue in the bank, and then he used to transfer money. Or if he do not have money, he will borrow from someone, saying that I will get money from one of my vendor in some time. So I have seen those things practically, and then finally, it was in my brain somewhere that I should not bother my dad a lot, because he has big family to serve, as well as my all those loans are there on my study. So I was thinking that I should bother him as less as possible. So I used to compromise on tea. I used to compromise on all those extra expense. Many times I went to interviews just by having one tea, by not having the breakfast, because I'll save money. Sometimes me and Naushad used to roam in Noida city, Noida sector 66, 64 to 66, we used to go by walk even during the fasting time, because we wanted to save money. For what? We can ask from dad, but dad will give. But we know that
you
how
knew the pressure that he was
difficult
having
it is.
to.
Yes. So family, the financial situation was not good. Even from the time when I born, from that time, the financial situation was not good.
Very, very, very. So a story of basically a lot of commitment. This is someone who's very committed towards something. So, how was the interview? I don't remember. How was the interview process in G7? I always ask people this because I don't remember, and I know we have been a crazy company. Okay, and I don't know which batch you were selected in, because I remember one batch we put out this one mailer was sent out for interviews, and we had 300 people who came for the interview that day. And they broke the glass in front.
No, I
and
was
so
not from
we were
there.
not in that batch, right? Okay. And after that, we didn't know what to do because 300 people were standing there. Okay. We simply put them on one floor and gave them one printed. Then we started printing because we also didn't know 300 people will come. We started printing, xeroxing, and giving them one question paper. So finish the test and go. We'll call you. So which you came in a batch after that.
After that.
Okay.
Yes.
So how was your interview process? I'd like to hear it.
Yes, on the first day itself, when I was searching, I used to use Google Map those days because I was new to Bangalore. So when on the day of interview, I was staying in BTM,
Okay.
and from there I supposed to go to
Gokula.
G7, but I was only searching for G7. But the G7 location was showing somewhere near to this other railway station we have,
Correct.
near to this Hebal side.
Ebel, correct.
So I went there, I visited there, and I found there is no company.
Right.
And it was not shocking to me because this happens many times to me during the interview. Then finally I called to HR. Sapna was the HR during those days. She called me, you should not go there, you come to this place.
Okay.
She told me to write the bus stop name. Then I took bus and I went back to Matikere. I was already late for 15 minutes, an exam was going on. Soon after I sat, I asked a cup of water from one of our ex-employee. And then finally, she gave me one this much thicker book. I was thinking, what is going on? So this is a written test. This much thicker book is too much. So there was 60 to 70 questions in that. That was the question book.
Okay.
So there was 60 to 70 questions. In 1 hour, around 1 hour, 15 minutes, we're supposed to answer it.
Okay.
15 minutes to read and 1 hour to answer. So somehow I answered those things, and those is I have brushed a lot on .NET, complete .NET, and then I qualified with that.
Okay.
And that was the first round, written test. Second round was system test on the next week. So it used to happen every weekends. So on next Saturday, there was a question. I wrote the question, and I always try to write question in the better way, answer in the better way, because one of my teacher told me earlier that everybody will write the same answer, but how different it is,
Right.
that matters. So those days I used to use exception handling, all those commit transactions in the SQL commands. And finally, third week, it was face-to-face interview with you.
Okay.
First, you call me in your cabin and you introduce your MD. Till then, you used to appear everywhere in all the interviews. I was thinking you were just an employee. So then I got nervous when you said you are MD of the company. Then you asked me very straightforward things like, what is the potential? Where do you see yourself? What do you want to achieve in your life? Like that, those questions you asked. And that was not non-technical interview round. And then it was said, you are qualified. You should stay, you have food, and come back in the last round. And the last round was the group panel interview,
Right.
where you were the interviewer and all those 10 members who were shortlisted till that level was there. And then nobody was rejected in that round, but it was good round where you have given a topic of the labor law, Labor Act of India. One side in positive and one side in negative direction you should answer. We were able to manage. I was able to manage and qualified.
And G7 at that time, the way it was, Sajid, and you came in and very quickly you built confidence, trust. Very soon you almost took over as the primary go-to guy. I was talking only to you, I think, in a very short time.
Yes.
A very short time, you were my main lead to go to for all the requirements, and you were handling it. But at that time, we had no development vision. I'll be honest. You knew that, I knew that. Okay, we were doing some products internally. We tried to do some external work, but neither did I have the experience to deliver that successfully. Neither did my team. So some of it were things which should not have started in the first place. But it gave us experience. It gave us exposure. Was there fear about what is going to happen? Is there a future in this company? Or
I'll talk little frankly on this.
Please. That's this show is about you being frank.
Soon after we joined, there was Harper project which was going on, and we had some project managers, technical lead, and then suddenly one day we started seeing everybody is just working here and there. Some people are going into your cabin, coming out sadly, and things. Finally, the decision what we have understood is many people are going to be fired.
Right.
The reason was The project manager was not doing their duty. Project manager got the assignment, but the project manager never understood what is the value of the project, what they are doing, and G7 invested around 90 lakhs into that project, which failed. So finally, there was multiple options was given. I'm still not aware of those options, but out of 27%, around 10 to 12% was removed from G7, and this created a lot of fear to us. Suddenly, right before lunch, my technical lead was Giri those days. Giri came and said to all of us, "You have one system test, and out of you 9%, guaranteed 3% will be fired."
Okay.
And only the top 6% will stay. The bottom 3% should make sure they have tried well. You will get your question in your email. We were waiting for email. We did not have lunch, and then we were just eager. And I was just thinking, whatever I'll write, I'll try to optimize that as much as possible so that I'm able to talk to opposite person. So there was a program given for SQL for me, to all of us, and C#, that program has to be called with. And then finally the evolution happened, and I was the fourth one in that list. And the remaining 3% was orally fired. But practically, you never fired those 3%. You gave another opportunity because those guys were new guys, and you have seen a lot of potential with them. After that, it started creating a lot of fear among all of us. Right. You know, this is not a stable company. We came into wrong place. We were jobless. Being jobless is better than being
under stress. Right.
Yes, because every day morning you think you are not sure when you will be fired.
Right.
So one day, I went to an interview in Capgemini.
Right.
And that day I saw Naveen is coming, Rajkumar is also coming, Giri also coming. Right. I've seen all of my colleagues are coming. And then finally in that interview, I got failed. I was not selected. And Harsha was one of my colleagues who got selected there. And then again, we started trying to other companies. And I was just searching for job after that because the job was not stable. For me, I have already said to my parents that, you know, I got the job, this is the salary, this much again you still have to give me for a couple of years. Right. So there was a deal, and I don't want to disappoint my family, so I started searching job by being employee of G7. But suddenly one day you came in the first 2 months itself and said that, you know, I see some potentials inside you. I'm going to try. So I'll give you complete asset management module of HAPA, and I'll only give you requirement, and you manage your own team and you manage your complete implementation. I'll give you 3 weeks for this. And then I was surprised because the other team members are from my same batch, and it was a little difficult to drive them under my leadership. So I started Google searching outside. Okay. How can I run my team who got the same experience and from the same batch, because it was being little difficult, and they were my roommate also. Right. But with all of their collaboration, we were able to finish that project in 16 days, that module. And then you had a town hall. Those days also there was a town hall system. And when you talked about me, that, you know, this project is completed under leadership of Sajid, that then I was a little relaxed, and I was feeling, yes, I have done something good now, and I should continue doing it. And then after that, you started giving me more and more opportunities. I started taking those opportunities. I used to work hard, very hard in the beginning of my career. And those days, my mom also used to say,
"You always worked hard, Sajid. I don't remember you not working hard." Beginning of career, ending of career, middle of career, you always worked hard.
Yes. And then those days, the main consulting person was my dad. I used to tell him, you know, 8,000 rupees, this much of work, I'm not able to understand, and I'm not able to talk to you also, because those days there was 7 days work system with us, 10 hours, 7 days, and I used to work till 11 in the office itself. So my mom and dad used to say, you know, never look at money, just build your life, build your career, money will come automatically. Wow. So
no, I need to meet your parents. They think so much like me. I also always believed in that. If you focus on the money, you will never get it. You need to focus on the job, the money will come. Amazing.
So each and everything, like a consultant, because I was not having those experience earlier, how to deal with this situation, those situations I used to talk to my dad, and my dad used to tell me politely, or if I was taking wrong decisions, he used to guide me, and he still guides me. He's not from this domain also, but still he guides me, and because of his guidance and all those motivations, I'm here today.
Amazing. No, definitely sometime I'm going to come to your home and meet
Sure.
both your parents. I definitely want to meet them. They've guided you well, guided you right. And Sajid, this whole journey of yours in G7, 8 years, I know, I think once in between, I don't even remember how I handled it. Because I don't remember the situation, but I know once you had called me, and it was so nicely put across to me that I've got this kind of an offer. Okay, so let me know whether I can go. It was not like I'm going to leave. It was not an ultimatum. It was you giving me
Option.
information. Okay, that I got this. Which I don't remember how I handled it. I really don't remember. But today I'm thankful to God that whatever I did, or whatever advice your dad gave you, or whatever happened, that you stayed back with us. And today I would love to show this spotlight video to all that 67 companies who missed you, to Capgemini who thought that you were not good. Okay, I hope they see this video. Okay, you are one of the best, and Sajid, I've seen the world in terms of the potential people I have. I've been in all the big companies. I've basically mentored, trained. I've seen them. You are extremely good at what you do. Very focused. The products you deliver today for G7. I don't want to use big company names. I've not seen them deliver those products with as minimal bugs that you guys deliver, because there's hardly any bugs there except maybe some business functionality which we missed communicating well. Otherwise, the product is working as per expectation, and you're rolling it out very, very quickly. It's not that there's a long development cycle. So you've been extremely talented. And I want to show this video to all the people who missed you. Okay. but how has been your journey? Because see, from this 8,000, the struggles that you talk about, today you're one of our directors. Today you're someone who I look up to, someone who I tremendously respect in the organization. Tell us your feeling about this journey.
Yes, like as I said, from beginning itself, used to give me opportunity. I used to take, and then suddenly, and I never looked at the money that what I'm earning. Even in the beginning, I used to take 2 more thousand. I was not able to manage in 8,000, so 2 more thousand I was taking from my dad. But slowly after that, soon I was taking more responsibilities. You were seeing some potential in me. Then you were revising those salary over the period of time. Sometimes I got 2 times revision in 6 months. Sometimes I got 3 times revision in a whole year. So like that, you were taking care of all my financial needs those days, and I was just taking responsibility, which as a human I can take. And I was putting all my beyond 100% what I can do for this. And this is the time when what I was thinking earlier, that I want to become a successful person where I have almost everything. So I was just going into that direction, and I was focused to that. Some people used to tell me I'm workaholic, or I'm only focusing on work. I'm not talking to my family members, not taking care of friends. Some friends still have complained that you are not calling me since 6 months or 12 months. I never go deep into that. Means when you're successful, your friends will still be there. When you're not successful, still your friends will be there, and it's just matter of some communication happening in between some time. And whenever they're in need, I used to go. I used to come and go forward. Or sometimes when I'm in need, they used to come forward and help me. So friend-wise, I never taken so serious that I will lose friendship or I'll lose my friend circle. But slowly, after taking all those responsibilities, and in 2015, when you said that you have some plan for development in G7, I started waiting for it. I started executing whatever was coming on the way, and then slowly, it went into the direction with the help of all my team members, of course. So what I'm today is because of me, plus all the bad or good team members also.
Absolutely.
And more because of bad members. Because they forced me to do some experiment. I have changed the way of delivery in many directions, many ways, because of the bad people in my team. So now I know how many ways I can try to deliver a project, how many different way I can think about. So this I cannot say in a single sentence, but yes, it was a good experience where I was and what I can be.
There's been learning along the way in terms of the good people taught us something, the bad people taught us something, but ultimately we were good enough to be able to learn and change things to ensure we meet the. How is the work-life balance now in the last year? I mean, are you able to get back to those friends? Because the complaint you're talking about, honestly, everybody give it to me. Okay, they also tell me that, boss, you don't pick our calls. Okay. So getting to talk to you also is impossible. And then attending a function or something, I don't know when last I did it. Even if I go out for parties or something today, it is mostly G7 driven. It is more to take out and connect with people in G7 rather than it's a celebration. So I think I get it. Are you able to get back now to some of those friends? Is work-life balance a little better now? Or
See, work-life balance was not the problem to me ever. It was, I mean, for some period of time, I was giving more value to my learning. So when I'm learning, those days I was just keeping on hold everything else. When I learned, I mean, in the initial first two years, after that I started coming back in the same. I mean, I was able to work, I was able to take care of my home, family members, friends, all those we were able to.
Since we are on the subject, this question is from your team, anonymous question, so you cannot go and beat up anybody. Okay, so they want to know how much time do you spend on family on the weekdays?
On the weekdays.
On the weekdays.
Every day, these days, when I go home, first thing is I call to my niece.
Okay.
She is around 6 years old. So first thing I check is whether you have completed your homework. Show me your homework. And she completes her mathematics homework on the call itself. So I say on average 2.5 hours I spend on call with my family because they're far. I mean, I'm not staying with them. Okay. So spending 2.5 hours is, I think this is good enough.
Okay, amazing. I hope they think it's good enough because this question is not from me. They asked the questions. Okay, so at least all of them know now. Whoever asked the question, anonymous question, 2.5 hours per day is what Sajid spends on family on weekdays.
Yes.
Another question they asked is, why are you angry all the time?
Actually, I'm not angry. This complaint is to me since my childhood. My mom used to say, "Your nose are big, so you are angry."
So you look angry. You're not really angry.
Yes, I look angry. I look serious. But those who are my friends, they know how funny I am internally.
Right.
But when I smile when it needed, when it not needed, I'm in a straightforward mode, which looks anger to opposite person.
So, this question is from me because I'm asking all the questions of how I feel, because a lot which you says relates to the way I feel in lots of cases. So I'm going to ask you this. Okay. Managing a team to deliver something, or basically an individual contributor who basically delivers something, which makes you happier?
For me, I mean, sometimes I experimented in both directions, both these things. Both these places I got failed also, and I got succeeded also. Success more, fail less. So it depends on the project delivery or the requirement what we are going through. If there is something where I have enough time, I prefer to go with an individual taking full responsibility and taking care of complete things. But when there is a lower sprint cycle, then in that case, I prefer the whole team is delivering. And not only delivering, they are also learning, experimenting, and ensuring that they continue this by themselves next time. So, for example, right now we are delivering 2 projects. In one project, I'm not touching it at all because I know the last person who I worked with is still there, and that person is giving me moral support and execution support also, that yes, your involvement is not required, I will take care of it. But the other project requires it. And this time when I'm giving it, I'm ensuring that the knowledge transfer is happening in the right way. And those guys who is listening me right now, they might feel that I'm also shouting on them. But yes, I'm shouting only because I'm just trying to teach the whole software cycle by executing one whole project.
Absolutely. And until you step away, nobody learns, because see, as long as you're there to do something, human nature is they'll never learn how to do it. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. That's the way to go. Tell us something about these 3 friends you brought in with you, because I think together they were a lot of strength for G7. I know this is your spotlight and I'm talking about them, but tell us something about when you brought them in. Okay, what was the thinking? How close are they to you?
Actually, there are 4.
Okay.
Okay. So Naushad, Adil, and Asif.
Asif.
And Roshan is the brother of Adil.
Okay.
He was not my friend until joining G7.
Okay.
So initially, when you said that, Sajid, you give me one person similar to you, who don't need training and all those things, and you hire, don't take in. I will not take any interview.
Right.
Then I went back to Naushad and I gave an opportunity. You have this opportunity. Do you want to join? He said, yes, I want to join. But I think Adil is in more need than me. So let's give him opportunity first. Then these two guys made me so emotional that I came back to you and said, sir, I need two seats. You said, okay, go ahead. Then now again, Adil is saying, I think Roshan, you can give opportunity. Roshan and Naushad, I'll manage. Again, I came back to you saying, I need 3 seats now. And then finally, those 3 guys came.
Right.
And then I picked them from railway station. We brought to the same home. Somehow we managed to stay together for 1 to 2 nights. And then finally, you never took any interview. Just one formal introduction was made to you, and you trusted on me, saying whoever I brought is valuable and they already know all those things what I'm doing here. So this is how those 3 guys came. Friendship wise, these guys are friends since 2008, since my engineering. Naushad was my neighbor. Adil was my classmate.
Wow.
Asif was not my classmate, but in the same college. He was from the computer science background. So Asif joined 3 years back, and these guys joined around 6 years back,
Okay.
5 years back.
Amazing. So, and these 4 have been pillars of strength for the whole team, right? Because they've more or less basically been with you on the delivery. And I know how much strength they bring to the whole delivery system. Very sincere people just like you. And Sajid, I have to say this in Spotlight because I want other people to know why Sajid is successful. There's very few people in G7 I can say this to. When I'm talking to you and you're telling me something, there is no doubt in my mind that you are black and white. Okay? You are telling me things, and it makes it very easy for me to work with you and trust you. See, when I'm able to tell you no interview required is because you've been a total black and white person. I've not seen you try to manipulate. I've not tried to see you tell me something differently, put it in different words so that it sounds differently, which generally people will do because of the character I am. I don't say people are wrong. The character I am, people are a little scared. Chris will insult, Chris will get angry, and so on. So they will try to sugarcoat it, buttercoat it. With you, it has been. There's no doubt at all. When you give a word, that word is taken with what you said. Is taken that way. So this is a great quality. Okay, and I say today my equation is with you. Is because of that quality you have. So, and I wanted everybody to know this because people should know, because we hardly basically talk personally actually, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's very rare. Maybe during a cigarette down, no, then we're talking work only. When I'm smoking, when you're standing with me, you more or less just only talk about work. So I've never seen a scenario where we've actually had too much of a personal conversation. But I still click with you well.
Yeah, but again, I started giving you more, value in terms of emotional value since you started helping me on my situations. Since my mom got admitted to AIIMS, Delhi, you gave me all the moral, emotional support, financial support, and then after that, I came little near to what do you think about me, and I started respecting a lot. And then after that, I used to say to my same things to my dad. My MD is better than my friends, who knows that my salary is this and my expenditure is this, and he sends money without my knowledge to my bank account, and then he says, Sajid, check your account. So whenever I needed something, so without being stressed, that stress was removed by my MD so many times, even in recent days also. So I respect him a lot. But again, it's like a friend to me. You are like a friend to me.
You are like family, Sajid. You guys are my family. So no question at all about that. And whatever support system that we give you is something which, you have given us the ability to give you that support system. See, if your work was not there, you didn't make us successful, I would not have that support to give you. So I have that support to give you is because you've created. So it's all yours. How does it feel? But does it feel nostalgic? Because this guy who came in, I think first month you worked free, right? or we paid you with
Yes,
those
so first 17 days it
So
was
17 days was training. We said we are not going to pay you salary. Okay. And then we paid you 7,000 or 8,000, I think was the fresher.
8,000 was CTC, and after the reduction, it was 7,503 rupees.
And unfortunately, I cannot disclose what your current CTC is, so I'm not disclosing it. But
Yes.
apart from that, you're today one of the directors of the company. And in G7, director is not a designation. You actually are owner of the company. It's there on the register of companies. You have shares that you own in the company. Okay. Did you expect this journey to be this way?
No, I never expected this because when I was away from G7 for 2 months, I was thinking I'm going to be distracted from my career path. You are not going to like my work anymore because it was long leave that I have taken during those days. And for me, it was most priorities was my mom than anything else those days. So I was able to compromise also. But after that, when you have given me more value, even I was away from my work for 2.5 months, then still I was not expecting I will become director of this company, but I was expecting I'll be.
You won't grow at the same pace.
I will grow, and you will like my honesty, and you will like my work. This is what I was expecting, but like a typical employee, like a normal employee. But you have given me more beyond what I could ever imagine.
I was going to ask you that next question. I mean, do you think if you were somewhere else, you would have got better? I mean,
No, definitely not this. But I have promised to company. I mean, I have not promised to company. I promised to their walls. You have not given me opportunity. I'll come in directly with experience, and you will welcome me to someday. But I really don't want to go there. I got everything what I even cannot get in any other companies here. So.
And no, I want you to go there, basically get past the interview, negotiate the offer. After getting the offer, turn it down.
I have did this once with IBM.
You've done this with IBM.
In 2015, I have done this. So that was the last one. And when you were talking about the last event, when someday I started talking to you about I'm leaving G7, I was giving you information. It was really, I mean, a stressful situation for me. Those days, I wrote the sentence. You were in Singapore, and I wrote what I will talk to you on a paper, A4 paper, and then I went to a street light near to Ramya's home in Matikere. And then I talked to you, and I talked what I wrote on paper because my heartbeat was like going up and down. How I can talk this with you? What if you will not give me any experience letter? What will happen? Those scare was there. But again, you have managed, and then you have shown what you are thinking about G7. Until then, even I was blank. Which direction I'm going with, and then I just followed the path what you have thought about, and we are today.
Sajid, in terms of the kind of value you bring to us today, and the success that we have, the automation that you and your team have built together, and more importantly, the reliability that you bring. Because I keep telling people this, see, what do we want in people? Sajid, you give me what I want, and what you give me is peace of mind. I don't have to worry about something which I've given to Sajid. I know with Sajid, I don't have to give mind space. I don't have to think about it. It is done. So thank you very much, and thanks to your team too. You guys together are amazing, and they've got a great leader, and they all look up to you tremendously when they come in the spotlight here. You can see the respect and the look up to which you've created for them, which is very impressive and great. I have to ask this last question, okay, before we move on to our rapid fire round. Okay, if you were the MD of G7, what would you change?
I think there is no answer for this because I'm also in the same panel of what MD is doing here. So MD, I mean, you are MD of this company, but you are still sometimes asking suggestions from all of us, taking all our opinions, whether this is right or what else is right. So being a director of this company, I think everything is going in the right direction. And if there is any changes required, we'll be doing on timely fashion. But right now, there's nothing such.
So, as a fellow director, you see the kind of, in the last year at least, I think COVID was a wakening call where I took over the HR completely. Otherwise, HR was just a function. It was not even something which was serious. And we really are trying to drive value where the company gives back to all the people who work for us, the success they have created for us. Um, are you seeing this being appreciated? Are you seeing this where people are liking what we are doing, or is this creating stress also? Because I'm so worried about that gym, where I'm saying 3 days a week it's mandatory. Now I'm worried about how many people will make this a stress now. Okay, because the idea here is this should not be a stress. This should be about physics. What is your opinion on this as a independent, another director in the company?
My opinion is, I mean, what we are doing in that zone is absolutely right, because even you can look at my stomach is going out because we are sitting all the time on chair, and this is very good for those who write scripts and is a software engineer, or those who work more on mental level. And going to gym is absolutely good. Even I was thinking there will be a day when everybody is having six pack.
Oh, I'm also dreaming this. I think when I come back from Middle East after a year, I will see all Hulks in G7. Right?
Yes. So this is actually good. We just had to understand for those who stay a little far from office,
Right.
how will they manage?
Right.
If they are already going into a gym nearby them, we have to give them some choice.
Exception,
Apart from this, everything
Excellent.
is going as expected.
So it's been a wonderful talking to you, Sajid. We come to this interesting, dangerous round of us. Okay, we have this rapid fire. I know you know what it is. You've seen the other spotlight shows.
Yeah.
So we have 5 questions which we're going to ask you. And in these 5 questions now, you need to give us the name of a person.
Yeah.
Okay. And this name of the person is the only answer you can give us. You cannot say no one. Okay. You cannot say many. One name only is required. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Okay. And if you're right on this, you'll basically get a gift from me. Okay. There are 2 gifts which I have for you. One is a conditional gift. Okay. And one is basically which you'll get straight away.
Yeah.
Okay. So ready for the rapid fire?
Ready.
Question number 1. This a lot of people want to know. According to Sajid, who's the hottest woman in G7? I know you're in the hot seat.
Being me, I mean, being me as a manager of my team, I mean, if I talk about one person and another person will get dissatisfied, so better I don't have any answer.
You have to give us one answer, Sajid. Not from your team, maybe across the company. You can give us some answer. And this is not a serious question. Nobody's going to feel bad. Don't worry. Okay, you want to give 2 names? Nobody's going to be bad. Trust me. Okay, it's fun. No. You don't want to give me.
I don't
Oh my
want
God. Okay, Sajid, you failed the first question badly. Okay, hottest guy in G7. This one are you going to be comfortable saying? But
Yes, I'll give this answer. I'll say Adil.
Adil, excellent. Okay. Question number 3. Apart from me, if you had to report to somebody in G7, who would that be?
I'll now try with Jess because I want to understand how she's managing her level. Once upon a time I understood about Deepak, then understood most of the time I was with you, but I never got an opportunity with Jess. So I'll understand how she's managing her whole pillar.
The person who's created the most stress for you in G7.
Naushad.
Oh God. Oh, I wish there was more time to ask you what all Naushad does. I'll remember to ask Naushad on his spotlight, what all does he do to give you stress?
Yeah.
Final question. If you had to basically recommend somebody else for a director position in G7, apart from the existing directors, who would that be? And this has to be from your team.
Yes. So I'll say Adil,
Adil.
who is coming into the same path.
Thank you so much, Sajid. So you've not done well. I don't. You're trying to make all the girls happy by not taking one girl's name. Not fair. Okay, they're all going to be so sad now that all of them would have been waiting the minute I asked that question to see what is Sajid going to say. So, but it's okay. You're forgiven for that. I'll still give you the gift of the cup. And there is another gift which I'm going to give you. So I'm going to ask you a question first. Sajid, do you know how to drive?
Yeah, I drive.
Your car, DL, you know how to drive?
DL I have, but I
You don't know how to drive. I know that, but I wanted to say that. So I'm giving you 30 days now, okay, to learn driving. Will you be able to do that for me? And can you commit on Spotlight? You can go to a driving school, whatever, okay.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, that's 30 days committed on Spotlight. My commitment, before I leave, I will basically have a car purchased for you, and the keys will be given to you the day you come with your driving license and you know how to drive a car.
Oh, that's not
Okay.
required, sir. Everything, whatever you give everything is a surprise. Everything is a gift. So I don't.
Yeah, this
think-
is also a gift only. and it's a surprise because I won't be here. Otherwise, I would not told you now. I would have given it to you, and on that day, it would have been a surprise. But since I know I won't be here, I had to basically do this. So, so again, Sajid, thank you very much from the heart. You've been a strength to me, a strength to G7. You've basically taken responsibilities where, honestly, I don't have to worry at all about our IP development. It simply runs on track. You've been given many more responsibilities now to basically, understand the company's overall structure and governance. Okay, and there's no doubts that you will continue to grow the company and grow the people under you too. So from the heart, Sajid, and I mean this, thank you very much.
Thank you
so
too.
much. Here's your cup, which is our gift for your rapid fire round. Although you cheated on a very important question. Okay. As per the tradition, you will sign that and give it to me. And one cup is for you. You selected that photograph, or that's
I have not selected.
you not selected? They selected it. Okay. Some people Gracie gives a choice, and some people she does not give a choice. I don't know. I need to ask her.
Thank you very much.
It's a nice photo, by the way. Although she selected it. Okay. So, Sajid, thank you so much for being on Spotlight. Okay.
Thank you.
And thank you
It's
so
my
much for
pleasure.
being a part of the G7 family.
Thank you.
Sajid.